The big question today is, how much should a good cow cost? How much is a good in-calf heifer? If a cow is giving 30 plus liters, how much should it cost? How about the calves? Most people ask this question for two main reasons. To either make a decision on how to price their cows, or have a price in mind when buying so that they are not conned. I think it's only fair to note at this point, if you're expecting exact figures, this is not the video for you. We don't want to disappoint you. If you however want to understand pricing and how to select what to buy, please listen to the end. First, there are different pricing strategies available, but we will only focus on three that are mostly used in the dairy farming. Number one is cost plus pricing. This is the most common since different farms have different management costs. Take for example, our farm silage is about 3 to 4 shillings, being that we grow it ourselves and we have found ways to reduce costs. For those buying a lot of the times, it's about 7 to 8 shillings. That means on fodder alone, there are farms that have a production cost that is almost 2 times ours. Say in farm 2, the owner takes care of his own herd, while in ours we have farm hands who we pay salaries. Our costs also differ in this sense. This is the importance of records, where you need to indicate every single expense, both fixed and variable. For example, do you pay rent, salaries, water bills, etc., which are the same every month? Then there are fodder costs, vet bills, price of semen, AI inseminator, etc. That is basically every single coin you spend on your farm. The fixed costs you can divide by the herd size, but variable costs have to be per cow. Once you get the cost of production, you can add a markup which will in turn bill you profit. In this example, say our cost is at 50k and yours is at 100k. If we price our cow at 100k and you copy us, then negotiate down to 90k, have you made a profit or a loss? Number 2 is competitive pricing. In this, you set your price based on what your competitor charges. This confuses a lot of people because it does not mean to copy anyone selling cows. You have to identify who your direct competitor is. It also needs to be more than, he sells more cows than me, so he's my competitor. Are you in a similar market? It has to be downright to the grouping. If one is selling heifers and another in-calf heifers, you are not competitors per se. Also, this is where the line gets blurred. If your cost of production are very different, even if you're both selling cows, would you price the same really? Number 3 is value-based pricing. This is where you base your price off the customer's belief of what it's worth. In a nutshell, it's any time you see an ad of pedigree, expected to give 40 plus liters, big udder, etc. Some of these words are placed there to generate a reaction, as you have been made to believe that they actually mean something, and that you're getting a good cow. This is how people fall for words. Then you get home with your new purchase, and it gives you 5 liters. We had to include this here because for a seller, you need to know that it's an option. You're in business anyway and looking to make a profit. But at the same time, as a buyer, you need to be careful and do proper due diligence on what you're purchasing. Now that the sellers know their options, allow us to address those buying. It is impossible to know a good cow just based off the price. You need to interrogate records and honestly also the one selling. We have seen cases where some people get cows to rehabilitate, pump them on dairy meal for a month, they produce well, but when you buy, you can't keep up the feeding. Just because one in-calf is being sold at 70k and another one at 150k, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're being conned. Also, as a farmer, don't feel rushed to set prices. The other day we had a whole argument on Facebook when someone asked the price we intend to sell Ruto for, and we said we would communicate in due time as the costs of feeds vary. In our farm, we prepare our own formulation, so ingredients are always differing in price each time we buy. Unlike maybe store-bought where you expect it to stay standard or fluctuate slightly. Another one asks how much we will sell Muero for. And not only do we not intend to sell her, but you can't price your cow based on the few short stories we have shared of her here, without understanding what actually happens behind the scenes. All this is to say that pricing is personal. It doesn't really determine the quality of the cow or expectations to have with it. You can have an expensive cow and still be disappointed. You can sell at market rate or like others and still be at a loss. Price appropriately and do due diligence when buying, regardless of the price. For more information, dairy farming consultation, or to order our own brand mineral Superforce Kiwi Nation, call us on 0759 945 708. Also follow our socials, Facebook at Dairy Networks, Instagram at Dairy Networks, and check out our website www.dairynetworks.co.ke.